everybody. Welcome to the National Signing Day podcast. I'm your host, Coach Martin. And as we're getting ready, we're just weeks away from the start of the new school year. We're going to be talking about the three biggest roadblocks that's basically stopping you from getting recruited. So there's three main roadblocks that's really at the end of the day that's keeping you from that scholarship. So we're going to break it down super simple. We're going to start with number one. The biggest thing getting in the way is obscurity. When you think about it, if you're in the 99%, coaches just do not know who you are. If you're a top 1%, you're on their boards, right? You're invited to their camps. They know who you are. You're going to be on their short list. But if you're in the 99, they have no idea who you are, unless you like if you're in track and field or swimming and you have times and you just have that time where everybody wants you. That's different, right? But for the rest of the group, the 99%, coaches they don't know who you are. So you have to do things to get on their radar. You got to do things that are going to allow them to know who you are, and it takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, right? But if you don't do anything, it's never going to happen, right? So you got to figure out, what do I got to do to be able to get in front of these coaches, right? Which coaches do I want to get in front of? How do I do that? I'll give you a quick tidbit on that, right? So all the coaches are on social media. So you're going to definitely want to connect with them and get on there. And then obviously from that moment, you can start getting your stuff in front of them. But if you're sitting there, and especially if you're fixing to be a senior and you have not got recruited, you got no offers whatsoever, they don't know who you are, right? You're like a business. A lot of times businesses start and they fail because at the end of the day, people just didn't know who that business was. So you got to get on their radar, right? Number two, odds are you have the wrong game plan. You have to have a game plan that's going to put you in position to be successful. So you're like, and I'm going to go think about a football player. If you're playing high school football, you all have the same plan. The same plan. It's a horrible plan, right? You take your huddle link, you dump it on a coach's Twitter feed, just a bad plan, right? So you got to have an actual winning plan that's going to get you in front of the actual people. I hear all the time, hey, Jimmy, what's your plan? Well, my coach is going to help me. What? If your whole game plan is that your high school coach is going to get you recruited, that is a horrible plan. You may have a coach that's an outlier that might, get you in front of a couple people, but it's only a couple people. There are thousands and thousands of coaches out there in schools where you have a possibility to go play. So don't rely on your high school coach. Don't rely on your club coach. Right? Don't just think you can drop your huddle link and everyone's going to come find you. Those are all bad plans. Or I've heard this. Well, coach, I'm going to these camps. Okay, great. It's great you're going to a camp or a showcase, but how many people are going to be there? A, probably 300, 400, 500. B, what coaches are going to actually be there? And C, are any of those coaches actually even decision makers? Right, so you got to create a right plan, and then you got to work that plan from the very beginning. So number one, you got to be in front of people. They got to know who you are. Don't be obscure. Number two, you got to have the right plan. And now we're going to kind of jump into the final three. Number three, what's super important is you need to be evaluated. So here's the deal. If you're targeting the wrong schools, right, it doesn't matter what your plan is. Or it doesn't matter if you've accomplished number two or number one, obscurity, you ain't never getting recruited, ever, right? So you have to target the right schools. Bottom line, if you're targeting the wrong schools, it's never going to work. So you got to figure out who is going to be a good fit for my athletic ability and who's going to be a good fit for my academic ability, because maybe you have the athletic talent, but if you don't have the grades, it ain't happening. Right, so you need to get an evaluation. So here's what I say. One, athletically and academically. One, academically, meet with your guidance counselor. Sit down with your guidance, schedule an appointment, sit down with them, even if it's only for 5-10 minutes. Let them know what schools you think you want to go to, and make sure that you're, one, taking the right classes to be able to go to that school, and B, your grades are on par to be able to get in, because you don't want to go through and get recruited and then find out you don't qualify because of your grades. So, and that's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Just book an appointment. And two, you're going to want to book an appointment with your coach. So tell your coach, listen, I need 10 minutes. Let's get it on the calendar. Let's get it on the book. And then when you sit down with your coach, let them know that, hey, listen, I want to play at the next level. You know me athletically. Where should I play? right? Because what happens is a lot of times we listen to mom or dad, and mom and dad's job is to just love us. And a lot of times they don't really put us in position to win because they think we should be going to a school that we have no business going to based off our athletic ability today. So get a unbiased opinion from your coach. Now, there are a lot of other areas you can go, right? We have a site, Evaluated Athlete, where you can go to. So if you go to evaluatedathlete.com, you can go there and actually get evaluated by, a professional where they're going to put you in position to be able to target the schools you need to target. But that's key. You have to be evaluated, and that way you know which colleges that you should target. And by doing 1, 2, and number 3, you're going to be in position to actually be successful. So listen, if you haven't got a scholarship, odds are it's because of either number 1, number 2, or number 3. But the truth of the matter is it's really all 3 of them. So let's button this down. Make sure that you do 1, get in front of the people you need to get in front of. Number 2, make sure you have a game plan. Got to have the right game plan. And number 3, make sure you get evaluated. So whether you use a coach, whether you use your high school coach, your club coach, or whether you use Evaluated Athlete, you need to get evaluated. It will put you in position to be successful and for you to win that coveted athletic scholarship. So until next week, hopefully you have an amazing week. Make sure you visit us online and make sure you visit us at National Signing Day on Instagram. Look forward to seeing you next week.